day.
The end of a troubled week for Halifax. Their coach Malcolm Reilly is off to Australia and he's quitting the Great Britain job too. For St Helens, 2 matches gone, still no win. Thrum Hall stages the outstanding match of the day. And here are the teams at full-back: former Great Britain international Steve Hampson and a rising star, 20-year-old Steve Prescott. The wingers, 2 of the best in the game, John Bentley and Alan Hunt. And Mark Preston and Anthony Sullivan aren't bad either. In the centre, former All Black John Schuster, and we get our first glimpse in the big league of former Welsh Union star Scott Gibbs. 1992 British Lion Graham Hallis is up against a man Saints bought from relegated Lee, Simon Booth. Standoff Mark Bailey plays against his former club, and Phil Waring is the Great Britain Academy International. At scrum half, Australian Michael Hagan will have to be at his best to quell the spirit and enthusiasm of Bobby Goulding. Props, Carl Harrison, a Great Britain international, against the Cumbrian Jonathan Neal. And 2 men up against their former clubs too, John Fieldhouse, ex of St Helens, and Adam Fogarty, formerly with Halifax. The hooker for Halifax, Roy Southernwood. For Saints, no Dwyer or Hodgkinson, both injured, so teenager Kieran Cunningham steps in. Second row, former Widnes and Welsh international Paul Moriarty, and the outstanding Chris Joynt. And another Welsh international, Mark Perrott, goes head-to-head against Sonny Nicol of Great Britain. Loose forwards, Gary Devorty and 22-year-old Sean Casey, playing only his 9th game for Saints. The coaches, the Australian-bound and now former Great Britain boss Malcolm Reilly, and Eric Hughes beginning his first full season in charge of St Helens, and he's needing the win. Match referee is Stuart Cummings from Widnes. He is in his 5th season in the big league, 35-year-old. He had control of the Premiership last May. So this outstanding match of the day in the Stones Bit Championship gets underway. And first touch here for Paul Moriarty, the man that Malcolm Reilly bought from Widnes to strengthen and beef up his pack. Immediate offside decision against St Helens. Very eager, very keen. 2 matches gone, no wins.
Pretty keen there, St Helens, quick off the mark.
Penalty then to Halifax. They're in the Saints half of the field. Scott Gibbs, former Welsh Rugby Union star. We get our first chance to see him on Sky this evening. And here comes John Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse, one of the much-travelled men of rugby league, Halifax's 5th club, one of his former clubs, St Helens. Here's Moriarty. And Bobby Goulding in quickly on the tackle, the St Helens captain today, in the absence of Shane Cooper. Mark Perrott now, Welsh international, driving it down the middle. Southernwood is the dummy half directing operations. Carl Harrison, Halifax captain, hauled down just inside the 20-metre zone. Southernwood again, the dummy half. He finds Hagan. Hagan will drop a little kick over the top, flattered by Goulding as the kick went forward. But Halifax have all moved up and they're caught offside.
Nice kick from Michael Hagan. Well timed, and the centre Graham Hallis was on hand there, but they just couldn't get the fingertips to it.
Suggestion there too that as they chased Michael Hagan's kick, there was a push on a St Helens player without the ball. This is John Neal, married during the summer, and he honeymooned in Barbados. Cunningham, the dummy half, gives it to Adam Fogarty. Moriarty was there, but again St Helens spilled the pass.
That was brought about by wonderful defence from Halifax. They moved up so quickly. They applied the pressure on Bobby Goulding. There was no chance that Sonny Nicol was going to get that football.
It has been the blight of St Helens' season so far. They have simply not respected the possession. And this is Halifax in a great position here in the opening couple of minutes. Hagan misses out one and calls Moriarty in. Southernwood to Mark Bailey, to Hagan. Here's Hallis. Hallis well tackled by Scott Gibbs. Bentley, pass to nobody. Hagan was there to pick up the pieces, and he's dragged to the floor by Kieran Cunningham. Last tackle here for Halifax. Schuster hoists the kick. catches the breeze. Anthony Sullivan is content to just let the breeze take it out of play.
Wouldn't be happy that Schuster, far too strong. Quite a strong breeze as well at Drum Hall this afternoon. If anything, it's to the advantage of the Saints in the first half.
Good swarming defence from Halifax there. Nowhere for Cunningham to go. Now Adam Fogarty. He's up against his former club today. Eric Hughes, his coach, I know is expecting a big game from him. Bobby Goulding with the kick downfield. Hampson, the chaser. And Goulding it is who's moved up to try and cut Hampson down, but he gets the pass away to Bentley, who uses his strength well, but can't get away from Goulding.
Good play by John Bentley, came well back to support Steve Hampson. It was a good kick from Goulding.
That's a lovely run from Southernwood, but that was a forward pass. And Perrott will be brought back. The pass from Southernwood just a metre or so forward.
Well seen by Stuart Cummins, the referee. It was only just, but it was a great run from the hooker Southernwood. Stepping inside a feeble tackles from Saints. Just a split-second decision going against him.
Goulding with the possession from the scrum. This is Phil Waring, star of the Saints Academy team, and the man who displaced Graham Holroyd of Leeds in the second Academy test on that ill-fated Australian tour. Cunningham's pass inside to John Neal, and if the one from Halifax was forward, this certainly was.
Little doubt about it, but wonderful defence from Fax. They really are moving up so quickly. St. Helens finding it hard to get over the advantage line.
Steve Prescott, impressive young fullback, just 20 years old, 15 appearances last season. Bobby Goulding drills the ball towards the corner, but it struck the corner flag.
Once again, we see the St. Helens skipper, Goulding, put under a lot of pressure.
Goulding, captain for the day. No Shane Cooper, he's out injured. Fieldhouse makes a meal of that. Was a bit slow to get down to the loose ball as well. Scott Gibbs hacked the ball forward, and it was Alan Hunt who picked it up. Gibbs in at dummy half. He's had an impressive opening couple of games, apparently, for St. Helens. This is Waring, faced by Fieldhouse and Perrott. Cunningham, the dummy half. John Neal now. Typical run from him. Thought about releasing the pass as he fell. Thought better of it. 10 metres from the Halifax line. Goulding trying to engineer something here. That's the ball to Sean Casey. And Casey pops the possession up and gives it to Schuster. And Halifax will launch another attack from their own quarter.
Suicide pass there from Casey, but look at that swarming defence. They're really mixing it into them. That should be back to 6.
Referee says knock on.
Well, a prop forward, Carl Harrison, felt he got a stray boot. He's saying to the guys, calm it down. Certainly looked as though they got a hand to it there. Kieran Cunningham. Referee Cummings will play the first knock on.
And the 2 sets of 6. Anxious to get on with it. Bailey with a little darting run, just evaded Waring, but he couldn't get away from Simon Booth. St. Helens' defensive line at the moment is like a dog's hind leg, it really is. Moriarty to Southernwood, to Hagan. Here's Hampson, who's chimed in, gets the ball out wide to Bentley. Bentley's got Sullivan offering him the touchline. Bentley with the strength to go through. Anthony Sullivan. Great run from John Bentley.
He lost the ball though, I'm afraid. Not happy with himself. There you can see the right elbow just colliding with the ground. But a scintillating run there from the Great Britain winger John Bentley. Anthony Sullivan made such a meal of that. You can't afford to go high on this guy. He's very strong in the upper body.
Bentley with a try last week at Oldham. It was his 100th in rugby league. Now here's Sonny Nicol. High error count, 6 in the opening 8 minutes, 3 either side. Fogarty now.
Pretty important that St Helens get a quick score, really. They had a pretty torrid game midweek. So as the game progresses, fitness will have to tell.
Yes, they were beaten in their first 2 matches against Doncaster and against Warrington. They arrive at this ground and they've managed just 1 win in 8 First Division visits, so it's not the best territory for them. And Preston with the good catch of the bouncing ball as it was pushed through, and he made about 10 metres progress. This is Schuster now. Cuts inside Gibbs easily. Great run from Schuster this. He's got Hallis in support, but he gave it straight into the arms of Gibbs.
Well, the pass really wasn't on. It made such good ground and wasted the chance.
But Gibbs did well. He found Hunt. Hunt finds Nicol, who finds Casey. Good tackling. And Alan Hunt is flat out in back play here.
It really wasn't on that pass. Desperation early in the tackle count undid all the good work. Alan Hunt.
He was clattered by Steve Hampson.
Hampson, the full-back, came full pelt. It was a legal charge. As soon as Hunt had released the football, crunch.
Hampson has had a word from Stuart Cummins, and the referee has given St Helens the penalty for the charge by the Halifax full-back.
Well, surely they must have deemed that it was perhaps just a bit late. Yes, it was. You can see it. As soon as he passed it there, crunch time coming through. He'd picked his man, picked his mark, but has given away a chance for St Helens to pick up 2 points.
Bobby Goulding scored the goal in midweek. And he's got the little plastic tee on which to tee the ball up. He's bang in front, and he's given St Helens the lead. Good kick from the 22-year-old scrum half. He's been with 4 of the biggest names in the game: Wigan, Leeds, Widnes and now St Helens. When he trained in the summer with the Great Britain squad, he has his eyes on a place in that Ashes series.
Well, that all came about from that bad mistake from the prop forward John Fieldhouse earlier. After a very bright start, Halifax's mistake, and they've allowed St Helens to get the ground and come away with those 2 points.
Good run and chase downfield by Mark Bailey from the kick-off to bring the St Helens fullback Prescott to ground. And Bailey and Hagan working very hard. And John Neal not too impressed with the challenge by his former teammate. And that's a good, strong tackle from Moriarty on Adam Fogarty. Cunningham stepping inside is Gibbs. Scott Gibbs finally in the big league, having turned down Wigan and Hull.
Referee Cummings had a quick word there with John Fieldhouse for the swinging arm over the top of Gibbs.
Prescott gets away from the trouble, but drops it straight into the arms of his opposite number, Hampson, who tries to go through Sullivan, nearly gets through, but Booth was there to cover the danger. Hagan now, and here's Bentley. Always danger whenever Bentley gets the ball. 10 games for Balmain this summer for the Halifax winger, so he will certainly be fit. That's another loose ball, though. Waring was accurate. A good job that Southernwood got there first for Halifax.
Good defence also from St Helens Welsh recruit Scott Gibbs. He certainly knows how to tackle, went in very hard then and low.
Here's Carl Harrison. Ball inside to Bailey, and Sonny Nicol was waiting for him. Finished off by Fogarty. Southernwood to Hagan. He will hoist the kick. He could do anything in this wind. Into the sunlight too, and Anthony Sullivan read it well and saw a little gap. A good job that Bentley held on to his shirt tails.
Fingertip control there from Bentley, and it had to be. Nice step there from Anthony Sullivan.
Suspicion of a forward pass to Jonathan Neal, but referee Stuart Cummins just looked at the touch judges, said play on. Goulding Short ball to Fogarty. Immediately he was clattered.
Geez, they picked it out well, didn't they? Moriarty knew that he was going to get that all the way to the shoulder.
St Helens on halfway with Goulding. Another kick. Bounces over the head of Bentley. Finds touch.
Did well there, Bobby Goulding. They went on to him very quickly, but he got in a good kick. Nothing that Bentley could do about the bounce. Well, slowly but surely, the Saints are clawing their way back into control after that bright start from Halifax. It would have done them a world of good for their confidence.
St Helens won only 5 away games throughout last season. It's a record they desperately need to improve if they're going to be championship contenders this season. But indeed, what will be more of concern to their coach is the fact that they've played 2 matches and still have no points in the bag yet. 2 defeats. Hampson finds Hagan. Scrum half for the first time in this particular spell at Halifax. Preston is the dummy half. Here's Moriarty.
Just came a little bit too early then, did the big Welsh second rower. He was taking that ball virtually flat.
Harrison, good driving run. The support was there from Preston, and he will streak home. Mark Preston with a great try, and it was Carl Harrison twisting in the tackle who produced the opening. But my word, didn't Preston take the chance well?
Vintage prop forward football this. Look at that determination and then the twist in the tackle. The support was superb. And look at the man go. Preston hits the gas, gets into top gear straight off. Super try. Look at the strength here. This is why he's classed as one of the best in the world. Look for that support. It was a beautiful pass, but read well by the winger Preston. A planned move, that there is no doubt. Wingers don't just come in for nothing, and it paid off.
Good try from Mark Preston. Probably one of the best uncapped players in the British game. His second try of the season, and a try now in each of the last 3 games against St Helens. So John Schuster with the goal-kicking responsibility, former All Black from the Newcastle Knights club last summer. Newcastle Knights and this club interwoven at the moment, with their coach Malcolm Reilly on the way to Australia for next season. Schuster then, it's a difficult angle, 20 metres out, 5 in from the touchline, but it doesn't matter. That is an excellent kick from Schuster, and Halifax have a 6-2 lead.
This is how they work the planned move. Harrison standing on the open side, but runs to the blind side. He's going to get support now. You can just see that they're a little bit at 6s and 7s. They just hesitated on the blind side in defence, and that is superb football. It doesn't come any better than that. Great try.
So Mark Preston's try gives Halifax the lead, the team that won last Sunday 40 points to 20 at Oldham. But Oldham led by 20 to 16 with 11 minutes to go. It was a big effort in the last 10 minutes or so from Halifax to take the victory. Now they're ahead here by 6 points to 2. And I'm sure that this isn't making terribly pleasant viewing for Marion Graham, who serves in the souvenir shop at St Helens. She's in hospital at the moment after a major operation. Best wishes to Marion from all the players. Her team trailing 6-2 on the scoreboard, and defending against this Halifax raid, Harrison, the man who created the try for Preston. Southernwood, the dummy half, switches the direction, finds Hagan. He uses the wind to good advantage, plants it in the St Helens quarter. Super kick from the Australian scrum half.
And super positioning as well. Hagan elected to stand way back deep on the blind side. There was no one within cooey of him. Gives him the time and the opportunity to execute the kick to near perfection.
Michael Hagan, former Queensland State of Origin man, played for them 5 times. Meanwhile, Jonathan Neal has some blood coming down from the nose. Allows him to pack down, but I rather fancy that He will want the Saints physio to come on and just stem the flow. Simon Booth, good run. Nowhere really for young Steve Prescott to go. Here's Neil.
St Helens caught this time very flat. It's been brought about by the fact that Halifax are moving up so quickly. St Helens forwards just not getting any momentum at all.
Cutting him to Waring. Those two will certainly know each other, having played in the Saints academy team. Here's Goulding, darting one from Bobby Goulding, releases the pass, and that was suicide from Goulding. He was grounded, and Perrott just picked it up. It's the fourth handling error for St Helens, and it could prove costly.
There you can see he was in the action, trying to get it away. Suicide pass. The prop forward there, Jonathan Neal, really did catch a stray elbow. Blood splattered all over his face.
In defence of Bobby Goulding, he did try to force the pace then on the sixth tackle, so it would have been the turnover anyway. This now is Southernwood, and Halifax gradually getting their way towards that St Helens 10-metre mark. Last tackle for them. Hagan will dab the ball across.
Well, he won't be happy with that. It wasn't the best kick. It should have gone across the goal face to have any chance. There was no chance that any Halifax player could get to it. He won't be happy with that, the Australian.
Chris Joint, member of the Great Britain setup, very much so, Joint. Here's John Neal, tackled by his opposite number, Harrison. Harrison working hard from the marker position to play the ball. It was Harrison who got Adam Fogarty round the ankles then. Goulding, another kick over the top. Measured it past Hampson, and it finds touch 10 metres from the Halifax line.
Well, perhaps it's a good kick, but I'm not so sure it's going to be the best option for it. St Helens having trouble getting through this strong Halifax defence, and that's the man that I feel has to start changing the attack, running at angles, bringing the forwards, and maybe even the chip over the top. Halifax early in the count do not use a sweeper.
St Helens, of course, the club beaten on points difference for the 1993 title. They finished 8th in 1994. And sobering thought, really, for Eric Hughes and his coaching staff. They never recovered from losing 2 of their opening 3 games. They've lost 2 of their opening 3 now, and they are behind 6-2 in this, the 3rd of this season. Hallis finds Schuster.
Pretty risky play by Halifax. 4 pairs of hands passing within your own quarter. They got away with it, though. It was a good run from Steve Hampson, and that'll be back to 6. Play on, they Southernwood.
Southernwood lay on the ground and then paired off as he saw the referee say 6 to go. Ball comes back to Devorty, and Booth is there, and I think the St Helens players will discuss that with Stuart Cummings later. They just stood around, they thought that Southern would have been tackled, but he wasn't.
The referee indicated that it was back to 6, but they hadn't done the first tackle. Southernwood was the only one on the ground that realised what was happening.
Here's Bentley again. Southernwood to Hagan, to Bailey, to Hallis. Hallis sees a gap, tries to go through Joint, and Joint hauls him back by the collar of his shirt, helped out by Sonny Nicol. Halifax, 5 metres from the line. Hagan drifts one across, Booth picks it up. And a good challenge on him by Schuster, because if Schuster had missed him, Booth was off and on his way to the other end. Every one of the Halifax team had moved up to support that attack. Nicol now. It's great tackling this from Halifax.
Super low tackle from the hooker Southernwood, who's got a bad knock with a pretty hefty tackle. And that'll be a high tackle. Referee Cummings saying that they were offside to start with. Determination there from Nicol, but equal to the task was Mark Bailey.
Well, it didn't look high to me, Steve, or maybe he was done for stealing the ball in the tackle. Meanwhile, Roy Southernwood doesn't look well.
This is a tackle on Southernwood. Oh, this is the one now. Now, it came off a St. Helens. You can see Cummings saying it's play on, but not one St. Helens player laid a hand on him, so therefore the tackle was not effected. He was the only one in the park that knew exactly what the referee was talking about. Everyone else just stood still. Fortunately for Saints, they got away with it. Well, let's hope this guy's okay.
Here's the tackle now where he got injured.
Well, it wasn't copybook, was it? You don't put your head in front of the man with the football. You're trying to get your head behind it. Still was a good tackle, but I'm afraid, let's hope he's okay.
Paul Round, another former Saint, is about to come on for Halifax in place of Southernwood.
I think you'll find that Southernwood caught a stray knee.
Yeah, he's certainly concussed, isn't he? Certainly dazed, no doubt about that. A bit of reorganisation needed here.
Well, that is a bad loss to Halifax. Key player is a hooker, Roy Southernwood. Runs from the dummy half. Let's hope that... Oh, well, they don't need a stretcher. That's a good sign.
Yes, they called for the stretcher, and it looks like it might be the shoulder or some injury like that. But anyway, he's in a lot of pain. And so he goes off, and Round comes on. Meanwhile, the penalty went to St. Helens. They found touch. In fact, they almost found Malcolm Reilly up on the gantry here. Sloppy pass again from Waring. Good job that Chris Joint was there to pick up the pieces.
And that all comes about by this terrific... Oh, that was high.
Yes, Paul Round. First involvement in the match. Fogarty felt that.
Slipped on the inside.
We've taken a quick tap penalty. Goulding to Casey. Casey sees a little gap, but it is soon closed.
Good young talent, Sean Casey. Good stepper.
Cunningham to Neil. And Halifax certainly having the better of things in the opening 25 minutes or so here.
Well, it just didn't come off for Bobby Goulding. It was a nice little run, but he just didn't get the strength of the kick there. Ball round, picked it up easy.
Steve Hampson.
Having a strong game, isn't he? Every time he's touched the football, certainly made ground.
This is Moriarty. Now Devorty, the dummy half to Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse has got Bailey there. Hagan drills the ball towards the corner again. And it finds touch once more.
Smart thinking, jumped into dummy half position, made sure that he could get the kick away quickly.
Well, Roy Southernwood is in the blood bin. It's not a straight substitution. So if Southernwood comes back on within the quarter of an hour, that won't count in the overall run of things. But Southernwood look in a pretty groggy state to me, and I'll be surprised if he returns within the 15 minutes. But it's a blood bin and not a straight injury or tactical substitution.
Well, it won't surprise me. Hookers are pretty tough. They don't come any tougher than Roy Southernwood.
Chairman of the Hookers Union alongside me. Now then, Sean Casey. He's an elusive young player, Casey, only 22. Former Blackbrook junior, and he's appealing to the touch judge.
Well, it was pretty late. Touch judge trying to get the attention of Cummings. Said that there was a drop ball after this tackle. Nice dummy that you can see there, just lost control. To be fair to the referee Cummings, it was hidden away from him, but not hidden away from the touch judge. Good thinking.
Hagen to Bailey, to Hallis. Good tackle by Gibbs. I've been impressed with Gibbs, Steve-O.
Well, he's had very little to do in attack, but he's certainly done his job in defence. It's always been a common complaint amongst league fans that the Union guys don't tackle. Well, this guy does, and he does it well.
And he might have to here now, because Hampson is turning him and Nicol inside out. Gets a good ball away to Fieldhouse, who finds Preston the flyer. And Nicol was there to bring him down. Hampson quickly into dummy half. He finds Devorty. Long looping pass to Hagen. Hagen, lovely short ball to Perrott. Harrison is there. Oh, Goulding took the dummy, and that's a great try from Perrott. Magnificent score from Halifax. Mark Perrott, under-21 international, Welsh international, and his last try at Drumhall came over a year ago.
They don't come any better than this. You can see how Sonny Nicol got pulled out of the line of defence. Beautiful play by Hagen. Slipped the ball back inside. How's this? Whoa, Bobby. Go to the chemist, take the dummy. What a great try. See Nicol run across. Quick hands out wide, but the beautiful thinking there of Hagen. See how he sucked in Kieran Cunningham. The gap was there, the dummy was there. Halifax are flying, courtesy of one Mark Perrott.
Lovely try from Perrott. First try here in a year. And John Schuster now can add the extra 2. And he does so simply. And St Helens are still in deep trouble this big league season. It's 12-2, 10 minutes from half-time.
You can see how they suck in 3 St Helens players, and then Hagen switches the ball back inside. Wonderful thinking, the delayed pass. Once again, a planned move. You could see the second rower, Mark Perrott, hanging back, came through the gap, and didn't he do well?
Paul Moriarty picks up a bit of steam inside his own quarter line, makes it to the 20-metre mark. Here's Paul Round. Tries to run straight through Sonny Nicol. Adam Fogarty's there. And Fogarty giving Mr. Round a bit of a facial. That's a little bit of afters, because it was Round who took Fogarty quite high early on. Fogarty looked to the referee earlier for a penalty, didn't get one, and so Mr. Round can have a bit of that.
Well, Fogarty had many rounds in the boxing ring. Wasn't the best right hook, I'm sure, that he's ever thrown in his life, but it was sufficient enough for Paul Round to stand up, refuse to play the ball, point to the touch judge and say, come on. And he did. Silly play, though. It's relieved the pressure at a time where Halifax are looking to take control fully of this game.
Here's Fieldhouse straight at Fogarty once again. Fogarty stands up to the challenge well this time. Devorty to Hagen, and now Harrison has run straight through Waring, and little Phil Waring does well against the big man. Moriarty called for that, but he was missed out. Quick hands, bit too quick. Simon Booth. But don't they come back quickly, Halifax, and snuff out the danger?
And it was good play there. It was Phil Waring that came into the tackle, put a lot of pressure on the Schuster. Good defence on that occasion. Just becoming over elaborate, Halifax, and that play.
Goulding to Waring, to Nicol. Goes through Bailey, Sonny Nicol. He has support with him from Gibbs. Takes on Hampson. Perhaps he should have released the pass. He got through Steve Hampson, but he couldn't get away from Paul Round. And St Helens so close to that Halifax line. Nicol limping away while the play continues with Joint. Joint turns the ball back to Goulding. That's a good try, but did he drop it? Now the referee says it's a good try. The ball spilled as Goulding touched it down, but referee Cummings was bang on the spot there. And a little wink from Bobby Goulding. Saints back in it.
Well, it all came about after that good, strong run from Sonny Nicol, a missed tackle from Mark Bailey. allowed this man, Chris Joynt, to set up for the skipper for the day, Bobby Goulding. Good support play. Well taken try, but this is a run, and I'm afraid Bailey should have taken him. Big fella, Sonny Nicol, pushes Hampson out of the way, and from the resulting play of the ball, Chris Joynt, who has got plenty of talent, the Great Britain star, just threw the dummy there, and I'm afraid they held off enough for Bobby Goulding to take the 4 points.
Yes, he definitely got down with pressure, you could see from that angle, so a fair try. And at the moment, the St Helens points have all come from Bobby Goulding. And there's another 2. It's the Goulding show against Halifax. 12-8, though, the Yorkshiremen lead. Well, a match this last season in April that produced 12 tries, Halifax scoring 7 of them to run in winners by 37 points to 30. It's 12-8 now, and we're inside the last 5 of this first half.
Well, that'll prove a real boost for St Helens. They were in the doldrums, with Halifax controlling this game quite sweetly. But that missed tackle, I'm afraid, from Mark Bailey, allowing Nicol to put them in that position. What a lift that they needed.
You can say what you like, though, about Bobby Goulding, Steve-O. He is a real competitor.
He certainly is. He will not give up the ghost, especially with the fact that he's the skipper. He'll be leading by example.
Short ball from Goulding to Adam Fogarty, nowhere for Fogarty to go. So developing into quite a battle between Fogarty and Round. There's Goulding's kick downfield, driving his team forward into Halifax territory.
Another good kick, but once again, I think perhaps they may be better served. You could see there that Halifax, no sweeper. Bobby Goulding, one of the best exponents of the little chip over the top or the little grubber kick through.
He's certainly calling the shots, isn't he? Bobby Goulding, the St Helens skipper, but they're caught offside, St Helens.
Well, we don't see that often, do we? Referee Cummings, he was pretty slow coming out of the back there, and you can see Cummings going for the whistle straight away. Little doubt that St Helens had moved up.
Fieldhouse with a run down the middle. Gary Devorty, the dummy half, who's on halfway. Devorty, the only ever present last season for Halifax. Bentley, knock on. Just snoozing for a moment, the Halifax winger.
Well, they've just lost the plot over the last 5 or 6 minutes. And for an international footballer to drop a ball like that, you must always be aware he won't be happy. I'll tell you what, I don't think his players or his coach Malcolm really will be.
It's Goulding again for St Helens. Having a good game, the little scrum half. Here's Joynt. He's started the St Helens revival. A match this that Halifax looked in danger of running away with, but in the last 5 minutes or so, the Saints have come back really strongly. Sean Casey picks himself up. Cunningham is the dummy half. Goulding there again. Takes the return pass from Waring. Finds Simon Booth. Good tackle from Schuster. Sullivan. Schuster there again, working hard. Last tackle here for Saints. Goulding. Chip through. Hampson collects it.
Right option, poor kick, far too strong. Hampson is far too experienced to be troubled with things like that. Beautiful position from the former Great Britain fullback Steve Hampson.
Here's Moriarty now. Takes 3 to bring him down. Moriarty not had the best of careers in rugby league, but he gets the penalty here. John Neal not allowing Paul Moriarty to regain his feet.
Little doubt there, isn't it? He's got no chance.
Just back to that point about Moriarty, Steve-O. I'll say he hasn't had the best of times in the big league because of the injuries. He actually played 92 games for Widnes. I think that's more than a lot of people will give him credit for.
It usually is the case when you get a big name. As soon as they get injured, they get more publicity than what they do on the field.
Harrison with this driving run. Devorty again, the dummy half. Round is there, but he elects instead to find Bailey. Bailey is brought down by Gibbs. I don't think Gibbs has missed a tackle yet. Hagan, good long ball, Hampson.
Much better defence as well from St. Helens. You can see that they've moved up in a straight line. They've sorted it out.
Hallis, now Round. Good play by St. Helens, swarming round. Bobby Goulding, the first man in on Paul Round. Hagan, who just drift a kick, and it catches the wind, and that was difficult for Prescott. But Steve Prescott did well.
Good position there from the full-back, Prescott. Ready well. It was a good kick. You could see Hagan chase through. Everyone was onside. He'd done the right thing.
Minute plus stoppages first half. Halifax just ahead by those 4 points. Cunningham to Waring to Nicol. Cunningham, dancing little run. Fogarty drops it. Chance for Halifax with Round. But good defence again from St. Helens.
Bad mistake there by St. Helens, putting themselves under a lot of pressure. This is where Halifax should come up with a move, only seconds before the half-time break.
Referee's whistle sounds.
Knock on he states. On the dummy half. There you see Bailey gets tackled there. From that resulting play of the ball, he just lost it completely.
So Goulding again in possession for St. Helens, scorer of all 8 of their points. Here's Chris Joint now. That's a good ball to Simon Booth. He got away from Bentley, but Round was there just to keep a hand on his shoulder and complete the tackle. Neal with the run upfield, grounded by Fieldhouse. Goulding. Fogarty. Great tackle from Round. It's a good contest that. Fogarty and Round. That hit a Halifax man, and that was patted forward. It's play on, says the referee. I thought it was St. Helens' hand that knocked it forward on the second attempt.
Not often I agree, but I do on this occasion. And it was a bit of panic cake from Steve Hampson as well. There's the replay there. Pretty difficult to see clearly. I thought that Steve Prescott was the culprit that got to it first.
Well, Saints have got it back now. Another mistake from Halifax in the closing seconds of this first half. We're deep in stoppage time. And remember, Southernwood off the field with the blood bin change, allowing Round to come on. So there'll be a few minutes, I think, of stoppage time here. Time perhaps for St. Helens to get level by half-time. Well, there's the kick from Goulding, and he drills it for touch. Perhaps Saints content to stay with the 4-point deficit at the break.
I think they will be happy with it, because Halifax really did start to take control of this game. Midway through that first half, they've clawed their way back at the Saints. Interesting thing about the St. Helens thing, Scott Gibbs has been very good in defence, but I just get the impression he's lost a little bit playing out in the centre. I think I might be looking at switching him back to the number 6 perhaps, and giving him a little bit more possession of the football.
Here's Hallis, and he finds Preston. That's another great tackle from Gibbs. Tracked the winger all the way then and hauled him down. Schuster now. Oh, that looked a trip for me. Simon Booth stuck out a leg. No doubt in my mind. Referee gives him the benefit of the doubt. Booth must be breathing a sigh of relief as Halifax attack again with Bentley. Bentley standing, releasing the ball to Round. Hampson is there on that far side. Now, was this a trip?
Certainly, in my book.
What's more, Schuster is down on one knee. He took a bang in that incident. Harrison releases the pass untidily. Hagan picks it up. Here's Moriarty. Moriarty tackled well by Fogarty. So Simon Booth is a lucky lad in my book. I've seen them walk for less than that. Just over 3 minutes stoppage time gone. Last tackle here for Halifax. Hagan under pressure from Fogarty. Booth gets it away to Goulding. Goulding tucks under the challenge from Perrott. Gets away almost from Bentley, but then drops the ball. There's the half-time siren. Goulding furious, but he has scored all 8 points and has a little wry smile with the referee, David Campbell, and then swaps a word or two with John Bentley, and they both shake hands. Bentley, one of the try scorers in the first half for Halifax, continuing the debate with Goulding. A good first half here, a good contest. Preston's try, perhaps the feature, and Halifax ahead by 12 points to 8, and Saints again having to come from behind at the break.
You're watching Sky Sports
today.
So Stuart Cummings, referee, about to get this second half of the Stonesborough Championship match in motion. From Hall, 12-8, Halifax ahead. St Helens, 2 matches gone, no points. Desperate for their first win of the season. Halifax having won last week at Oldham, wanting to maintain their winning start in front of their own fans here. Certainly, for long periods of the first 40 minutes, it was Halifax's match. But towards the half-time siren, Steve-O, St Helens gradually got themselves back into it.
They certainly did, and full credit to them. Bobby Goulding starting to call the shots, Sean Casey and the forward starting to run with a little bit more vim and vigour. But I think they were helped slightly by the fact that Halifax, when they lost Roy Southernwood, their hooker, they seemed to just go all at sea in defence.
St Helens have won just one of their last 10 away games. Halifax have won their last 5 home league matches here. So it's a formidable task that faces the Saints, and Hampson off on a tremendous run. Started his second half, looking for support. Preston's there. You can put the glasses down. Halifax are over under the sticks. Mark Preston, his second try, just the start that Malcolm really wanted. Tremendous break from Hampson created it.
The fullback, Steve Hampson, had a tremendous first 40 minutes. But look at that, ducking under 2 would-be tacklers. The determination, the second effort. But most of all, keeping his cool. See how he just sucked in the fullback, Steve Prescott. And as Eddie said, when this man gets into top gear, nothing is going to stop him. Mark Preston, a superb try.
Remember those 2 cracking tries he scorched in for at Knowsley Road in front of our cameras last season. My word, this fellow Mark Preston loves to play on the big stage, and he must enjoy playing Saints. That's another 2 here today. John Schuster then 100% with the goal kicking. And from bang in front, courtesy of Preston paring in beneath the sticks, he has this opportunity to increase the Halifax lead still further. The wind is certainly playing its part in this match. The ball has fallen off that little hill of sand twice now for Schuster. He'll have to maintain his concentration. But bang in front, should be no problems, and there aren't. 18-8, the gap 10 points.
2 St Helens defenders, they should have got him. They both went high. This is the result. Duck and dive underneath. Acceleration. He really did step on the gas, but this is where the class and the experience tells. He slowed it down, sucks in Prescott. The rest is history.
So St Helens again with it all to do. Halifax ahead 18 points to 8 right at the start of this second half. Exactly what the Halifax coach Malcolm really would have requested, I'm sure, in that dressing room. And they have certainly picked up a gear from the last 10 minutes of the first half.
It helps when you score 6 points early in the piece. But really, it was a gamble, wasn't it? It was a pass from Bentley, who retrieved the long kickoff.
Palace is grounded just inside the St Helens half of the field. Devorty, the dummy half to Hagan, misses out round and finds Bailey. Bailey brought down by his opposite number, Phil Waring. Hagan under pressure from Goulding, does well to get the kick in. Prescott allows it to bounce, takes it, and then goes through 3 and gets away from 4. Moriarty though, and Round clattering to the floor, and Moriarty felt the full weight of Round on his head then. Moriarty flat out.
Caught by his own player, the substitute for Round. He was coming in like an express train. There was no stopping. Look at that.
Whirring in the sunshine as he looks for something, Fieldhouse brings him to earth. A breezy day here at Thrum Hall. The ball inside from Booth wasn't the best. Sullivan overran it. Bentley's got some pace too for Halifax. Sullivan does well. Oh, Devorty just couldn't hang on to the pass. Knock on would be the result, but Halifax have certainly created chances in the opening 5.
Great run from Bentley. Trying to get the ball inside. Panic football, really, when you're leading by 18 points to 8. But Devorty had no chance with that. It was a poor inside pass from Simon Booth, the Saints centre, to his winger Anthony Sullivan. There was no chance to get to it.
John Neal for St Helens hangs on despite the attentions of Round and Bailey, the 2 former St Helens players. Here's Fogarty, formerly with Halifax. Of course, this Yorkshire club now looking to replace Malcolm Reilly. The new man will be their 18th coach here at Thrum Hall in the past 20 years. It's one of the hottest seats in the game. Malcolm Reilly took control, by the way, January 1993. His first game was against St Helens. First game since he announced he's going down under, against St Helens again. Leading today, 18-8. Hampson made a meal about it, just went underneath his studs. Good job that Preston was there. Mark Preston, the man on a hat-trick, looking for a long-range try. Scott Gibbs and Fogarty in no mood to let him have one.
Good play there by Steve Hampson, the experience showing. Run from dummy half. In control. A little bit of 6s and 7s, Halifax. They've got to sort themselves out, and he wanted to slow it down. They've done that.
Devorty to Harrison. Through Waring. Fogarty's there.
Good run by the big prop forward, Harrison. They've done well, Halifax. They've moved up 35 metres with 4 or 5 rushes.
And the kick downfield. Hunt traps it. 10 metres from his own line. Gets away then from Round. Can't get away from the next 2, Preston and Bailey. Good work by Mark Preston, bringing Steve Prescott down. Here's Scott Gibbs. First time we've seen him really in an attacking mode. He certainly has the strength, and he shed a few pounds during the summer, Steve-O. Didn't play much rugby union last season. Joint with the break. Sullivan is the man there, but the forward pass has been called. But did it take a little touch off the Halifax player?
The Saints players thought so. Joint get the ball away. I thought that Bentley got fingertips to that. That could have been play on, and that would have been curtains. Sullivan was clear. Getting back to that Scott Gibbs situation, and he does look quite fit. Very good on defence. And I want to give him a little bit more possession of the football. Let's see what he can do in attack.
He went for the intercept there from Schuster to Hallis and missed it. That's a good challenge by Simon Booth on Mark Preston. It was a little robust, and that I think is why the Halifax supporters was a little concerned. Moriarty hauled down by Neil. Devorty, the dummy half. Hagen takes over, gives it to Round, who straightens it up.
Nice plant move, using two dummies back on the inside. Good job that Fogarty was there in defence. Of course, being a former Halifax player, perhaps knew that move, spotted it well.
Here's Harrison, we're on the last tackle, and Halifax running it. And Moriarty caught in possession. And it was Scott Gibbs again who was there with the last-ditch tackle.
Well, was that overconfidence on the Halifax part, or did they just lose the plot and not use the kick? Lost count on that occasion, but that is crunch defence. Super stuff. Devorty and Round together.
Cunningham, and he just manages to pick it up, Sonny Nicol. Shouts for the knock-on from the terraces. Ian Pickavant's preparing to come on, and he will replace Nicol. Meanwhile, this is Goulding. Gets the ball in field. Nothing that Gibbs could do then. A good tackle on him. Oh, that's a forward pass for Sullivan. The play on, says the referee. Sean Casey got away with it. There's Casey again at dummy half. Joint. Last tackle it is. Goulding will drift the kick over the top. Preston picks it up. Accelerates away from Waring, but that's a good chase from Chris Joint.
They've shifted up a gear, St Helens, mainly due to the facts and the efforts of Bobby Goulding, their skipper today. He's a live wire. He's trying to lead them by example.
Ten-minute second half gone. Halifax with the advantage of that early try second half.
Halifax quite content to use the big forwards, running the different angles, calling on the blind side there. This will stretch the defence.
Moriarty desperately trying to get the pass away before the referee called held, and he took the ball to himself. It's perfectly legal, and there's a bit of skill from Moriarty. Grubbed the ball along the ground. I think he was looking mainly to regather the possession, but he certainly has got his appetite back for the game, Moriarty, after a disappointing season at Widnes.
Quick thinking, he knew that there was no marker in front of him. Off he set. Not so sure he'd keep the kicking job on a full-time basis, but he got away with it.
Pickavants is coming on then, and it's Sonny Nicol who will come off for a breather. Tactical change by Eric Hughes. Ian Pickavants, ever present under the coach since he took over in January. From the Swinton club, but he actually began his rugby league career with the St Helens Colts team. Has a chance now to stamp his mark on this game. Good tackling from Round and Fieldhouse on Gibbs there.
It's swarming defence, isn't it, from Halifax? They really have got up quickly and got in between this St Helens side.
Cunningham, a darting little run from the St Helens hooker. Third choice. No Dwyer and Hodgkinson. The usual reserve for Dwyer. Both out injured. Oh, Bentley took that casually, didn't he, with one hand. Nothing casual about the challenge on him, though. His tackle standing up.
Had to take it, hadn't he? It was a nice little chip over from Goulding.
Moriarty does well, finds Hagen. Hagen switches the direction of the attack to Bailey, but he was picked out by Fogarty. Perrott now. Hagen to Fieldhouse, straightening it up. Releases the ball as he fell. Hagen carries the movement on. Still going Hagen. Oh, straight into the arms of Neil. Fogarty now.
Well, they definitely lost the plot there, trying to bring the ball back inside on 3 occasions, when it could have done with someone to settle things down.
Impressive Casey to Gibbs, and here's Alan Hunt. Hanson stood up to the challenge well. Alan Hunt and Graham Hallis, a little argy-bargy between the two of them. Cunningham to Neil. Diagonal run from Neil. He looked around then, wanting support, and there was nothing there. Goulding to Fogarty. Fogarty sees a little gap. It's closed down quickly by Bailey. Here's Cunningham again now. Goulding. Danger for Halifax when Goulding's in possession. Good a crossfield kick to Hunt. He just couldn't pick it up though. And that's a chance. Goulding's quick thinking created it.
Quick thinking. I couldn't believe that the Halifax defence, Graham Hallis, the centre, was actually walking with his back towards the opposition. Goulding had all the time in the world. They really have gone to sleep, Halifax. And if Alan Hunt had taken that cleanly, they would have been in trouble.
Moriarty with a barging run. Pickavance tackling him after Neil had halted the progress. Here's Harrison. Now then, what's the referee's decision going to be here? Because it looked like Harrison had not played that, and the referee seems to agree.
Just threw it away under the ground. Not happy. The captain, Carl Harrison, realising, putting his side under a lot of pressure with that silly mistake.
So now they're inside the danger zone of St Helens. Neil, though, dropped the ball on the first tackle.
But it was a good tackle from John Fieldhouse. Shoulder to shoulder, and Fieldhouse came up trumps. Crunch. Moriarty was as well.
Round. Chris Joint caught a stray elbow then as he tried to effect that tackle. High error count, isn't it? 19. Last tackle here for Halifax, who are preparing to make a change. The kick downfield from Hagan.
Talking about that error count, Eddie, the major factor is that there have been most of them forced errors, brought about by some very strong defence.
Here's Prescott, the St Helens fullback, trying to accelerate away from Perrott. Good chase though from Perrott. Fogarty. St Helens need to inject a bit of new thinking, don't they? They're trying to drive it down the middle. We've not seen much of Sullivan. We've not seen much of Hunt. Here's Pickavance.
That's been brought about by the way that the Halifax defence use it like an umbrella. They move out wide, force them down the middle of the field. But I'm afraid it's a time now where St Helens have to start being a little bit more adventurous. Bobby Goulding and the loose forward Sean Casey taking on the defence.
Goulding just content to kick for territory here.
Spotted his mark well. He's had a good game in both attack and defence. Still only a youngster, has been around a while.
Halifax making the change. On comes number 15, Paul Anderson, and off goes John Fieldhouse. It's a great applause from the terraces here, and no wonder he's had a big 57 minutes. So Anderson, the 22-year-old they signed from Leeds for £30,000 in September 1993, comes on.
Good move as well there by their coach Malcolm Reilly. It'll tighten things up with a big prop forward. Anderson has got plenty of weight.
Here he is. Oh, not the first touch for Paul Anderson.
Well, we talk about him tightening up the game, and what does he do? He does a silly thing like that. First time he touches the football.
Used 7 times as a sub last season by Halifax. Substitute here today, and here's the St Helens sub, Ian Pickavance. Taking some bringing down. Moriarty got him late. And when Moriarty tackles you, you tend to stay tackled.
Well, the ball definitely came. He tried to get up and play the ball. Could have been a flop there from Moriarty. Good run also there from Scott Gibbs. Pretty strong.
Here's Goulding. Goulding, crossfield kick, but to no one really. There was nobody there moving up to try and get on the end of Goulding's quick thinking. He's trying a few different things though, and that's what St Helens really need. They also need a speedster like this fellow, John Bentley. Does well, gets the ball away to Schuster. Schuster's on his own, taking on the entire St Helens defence.
Schuster used common sense there. He could see that the Halifax attack was all at 6s and 7s. He just calmed it down. Same here with the skipper, Carl Harrison. He knows what's needed. Let's drive into him big and strong.
Anderson's second touch is a lot better than the first. Hagen, Bailey and Hagen again. All wrapped up by Pickavance.
Well, this is where Halifax should use the second phase of attack, follow the forwards, support them. Men like Harrison and Moriarty, Perry, they can all release the football.
Crossfield kick from Hagen. Underneath it was Sullivan, who gets away from Bentley, and there's a bit of space for Sullivan. He's through two, he's got support from Prescott. Prescott, has he got a clean pair of heels against Bailey? Hanson coming across, it's a great run from Prescott, but a wonderful chase back by Bailey. Goulding, Saints want to get on with it quickly. Here's Joint's over. Just what St Helens needed, and well done, Stevie Prescott. Superb run that puts St Helens on the attack. Halifax tracking back, blowing in defence, and Joint over for the try.
Well, they say a kick is only as good as your chasers, and there was no chasers there. No pressure on Sullivan, who got the break, and then Prescott chimed in on the inside from full back. Didn't he do well, the youngster Prescott? Nice step there. Goulding was screaming for the football. He held possession. And from this point on, Goulding quick play the ball. There is no defence there. They're not going to stop the Great Britain second rower, Chris Joint. And St Helens are well and truly back in the hunt.
Great try from St Helens. It's a try that with all the hallmark of St Helens, from defence on their own line, straight up the other end of the field, and it's 6 points that are secure. So it's not over yet, 18-14.
You're watching Sky.
Yes, Goulding gets the possession from the scrum. Moriarty and Devorty quickly out. Perrott gets wearily to his feet. Phil Waring now. Long ball to Prescott. Prescott dumped to the ground by Schuster. Waring there again. Chris Joint. The try has given Saints such hope. Here's Fogarty. Fogarty for the line. And Fogarty against his former club. And that is his first try for St Helens. And what a time to score it.
Panic football from Halifax allowed St Helens the possession. Chris Joint, late in this second half, has started to run out wide. The ball back inside, and the former Halifax man goes in for a well-deserved try. Super play there from the second rower Joint, and Fogarty. Look at the strength, determination. Just shoved Hampson out of the way.
So Adam Fogarty, given his chance by Eric Hughes, because it was against his former club, rewards his coach's belief that he could do something special here on his return to Thrum Hall. Bobby Goulding then. The scores are now level at 18 points apiece, and this conversion attempt could push St Helens ahead. It was Goulding's goal, remember, in the 10th minute that gave St Helens a lead they held for 4 minutes. And it's Goulding's boot that has given St Helens a 2-point lead now.
Quick play on the blind side. Chris Joint's going to go out wide. You can see 3 Halifax players tight. 2 of them don't slide away. They go for 1 man back on the inside. If you don't slide, you pay that penalty. Schuster was the man that paid it, and it was Fogarty that earned the 4.
Adam Fogarty then, his try converted by Goulding. And suddenly St Helens can see Their first victory of the season on the horizon, but a long way to go yet, and Halifax will have plenty to say.
Well, we mentioned early in the game that St Helens, pretty tough game against Warrington midweek. Could they last the pace? It looks like they can.
Great break from Scott Gibbs, looking for support. Hampton snatched it in and missed him. He held up the pass though and gave it to Hunt, and Hunt's in. They won't stop him. Scott Gibbs created it, Alan Hunt scored it, and suddenly St Helens have come from nowhere with 2 tries in as many minutes.
Is that a Gibbs to give you the smile of all? Beautiful play. Look at the strength of the man. He's impressed. Push, push, push. The support was there. And once again, Halifax have been breached from well deep within the St Helens quarter. Strength personified. The former rugby union star knew he hadn't the pace. He's looking, but he has the strength to offload. Alan Hunt's grin, determination. Nothing is going to stop him. And St Helens are ripping Halifax apart.
Great Britain international Alan Hunt. 2 tries already, 3 now. Goulding has kicked well, 4 out of 4. This is within range. And Goulding adds the extra 2. Suddenly the St Helens supporters on the terraces here at Halifax are the ones who are cheering.
Look how this Halifax defence is moving up. That's not a straight line. That's why a little gap comes. And when you miss the tackle, you can't hang on. You force them into a corner. They didn't. Even though he realised he did not have the speed, he had the strength to offload the football.
Here's Mark Preston, the man who's on a hat-trick. Schuster, the dummy half, finds Hagan. Hagan will drill it towards that St Helens line. They're in not much hurry now to pick it up. Hunt. Devorty came flying in, and he was hauled down by Fieldhouse. And Alan Hunt felt that.
I'm not so sure about it. I think Alan Hunt, okay, got on the shoulder first. There was hardly any impact on it. I think he was just playing the game. Oh, bad mistake.
The sort of mistake that could turn matches. The referee has ruled knock on, and rightly so.
Plenty of time for Halifax to get back. That's the sort of mistake they were looking for. Bad mistake there from the prop forward.
So a chance here for Halifax then. Bailey finds Schuster. Good tackling by Simon Booth. Hagan. Still Hagan. 22 handling errors, equally shared. Harrison driving for the line. Oh, Carl Harrison so close. And who was the tackler? Scott Gibbs. Desperate moments here for Halifax. They must score from this pressure. That's the last tackle.
Great tackle from Bobby Goulding.
Hampton missed it. Moriarty picked it up. Schuster's there. They will score. Schuster try. What a match this is.
It's all about taking advantage of mistakes from the opposition. They did this. Superb run from Carl Harrison, put them in this position. It was a nice little pass from Moriarty, and Schuster's little shimmy takes him over. This is Harrison's big, strong run. He's had a fine game. Quick play of the ball. You can see him desperately trying to get away. Ball out wide. Devorty was a nice long ball. Hagen called for it, but look at this neat little pass from Moriarty. Schuster was over. He knew he was going to get the 4 points. But how vital is it going to be? That silly penalty that Halifax gave away right in front of the sticks with 3 minutes into the game.
I think Harrison's just checking how long to go in this match. Schuster then 3 from 3. If ever he needed to maintain that 100% record, this is it. It's a very difficult angle for him, though. Wind swirling round from Hall. Now, can he judge the wind right? It just fades away. But it's one try, 4 points, that's the difference.
This shows you the advantage of standing very wide. 2 quick passes. Bit of lady luck, but it all helps.
Good call from Moriarty, Steve-O.
Oh yes, all at sea. But the first 2 markers, they stood it out wide, created the overlap.
Schuster knows that 2 points that went begging could be so crucial in about 4.5 minutes' time. Referee wisely calling time off while St Helens prepare for the kick-off. Time back on now. Strength from Moriarty, strength also from Joint. 4 points the difference, 4 minutes left. Great game again. Super contest. Swung one way and is now swinging the other. Can Halifax pinch it in the last few minutes? A match that they've dominated for long, long periods.
Good blindside run there from Anderson. He's dragged the defence across. This is where they've got to work the link. Bailey and Hagen have got to combine.
3.5 minutes to go. That's the last tackle for Halifax. St Helens will be relieved about that. Hagen drops one into the corner. That's where they should be chasing now. And here comes the ball. Bentley's there, Schuster's there, and Schuster the man who brought Anthony Sullivan to ground.
Better chase there by the Halifax defences. Once they got there, they were in a straight line on that occasion. What a thriller.
3 minutes to go. Great tackle from Bentley on Goulding. Goulding will take his time. Cunningham to Neal. Strength from Neal.
Safety first from the Saints now, using the big forwards. Eat up the time. Then Bobby Goulding will appear with a big kick.
There he is, and there's the kick. Under pressure from Devorty. But it will go to Hampson. 10 metres from his own line. Remember the run that Hampson had before to create the try, not this time.
Nice chase there by Ian Pickavance, the substitute.
Mark Bailey. Good tackling by Saints this. Hagen. Short ball to Fieldhouse. Short ball to Harrison. Desperate defence, and Scott Gibbs again.
Great tackle from Gibbs with Fogarty over the top. Harrison was looking to offload. He had men in support too.
Good stint this for St Helens. But long ball out from Hagen. Bentley's going to run it. He's round Booth. Support there from Hagen. Keeps the movement going. Had to take the gamble. And a great chase. And St Helens have it in the arms of Goulding, who's tackled by Moriarty, who's whispering down Goulding's ear. 2 witnessed teammates last year, Moriarty and Goulding.
He certainly wasn't singing him a song.
Cunningham. We're entering the last minute of normal time. St Helens ahead by just the 4 points. Joint. Pickavance. Pickavance from the short pass. Hampson's there, and Hampson manages to hold him out, but only just. Boo! Goulding. There's the young man. Waring. No try. Forward pass. Waring and Goulding can't believe it. no try. Forward pass the decision.
Referee was hand to see it. Phil Waring just overstepped the mark. He delayed it far too long. It was forward. But hasn't Bobby Goulding injected something into this second half? When all looked lost, he just kept driving on his players and has been rewarded. A great day for that little fella.
Yes, he and Scott Gibbs certainly vying for man of the match for St Helens. Sonny Nicol jogs back on. And Paul Loughlin is coming on also. John Neal with blood coming from his mouth. Coming off, and so too Phil Waring, who's just been injured in the act of scoring that try that was disallowed by the referee. We're in stoppage time. There'll be a couple of minutes of this. Loughlin back on, or rather on the field for the first time in the closing seconds of this match. And what a pulsating affair it's been. Referee penalises Saints. They're all over the man on the floor. Hagan looking round. Halifax suddenly plodding.
Well, I'm not so sure that Hagan did the right thing there. Perhaps he didn't realise that there's a fair amount of injury time. But a little tap there. The St Helens were not caught on that occasion.
It's a long way to that St Helens try line. Hagan makes the mistake, and that could be curtains for Halifax, and Hagan knows it.
Well spotted by Simon Booth, the centre. Look at that. That's applying the pressure. Hagan knew it. Not the best pass, perhaps, but you take those under pressure, especially when you're in the dying seconds.
1 minute stoppage time. The referee wants the scrum to reform. Bobby Goulding is not arguing about that decision. It's a few more seconds off the clock, but I don't know why they bothered, because the scrum just wheeled round.
What on earth was that? Well, it's been a brave display from the St Helens side. They really did look out on their feet. 5 minutes into this second half, when Halifax blasted them with a sensational try. But they have ground their way back. They have shown a lot of character and spirit.
It's a ball out from Nicol to Gibbs. Here's Goulding. Goulding darting for the line. Goulding puts the icing on top of the Saints' cake. The captain comes up with his second try for the club and clinches the victory that looked for so long unlikely.
The little dummy, the step, they held back, went inside and outside of Moriarty. The pressure there, hand off. There was nothing Hampson could do. A super try from a super player. Deservedly, in my book, to be the man of the match. Look at the hand off, the step. Mr. Eric Hughes, the Saints coach, please, oh please, give him the skipper's job now, full time.
Well, if he kicks this, Bobby Goulding's personal tally will be 20 points. At the moment it's 18. He has played a huge part in this victory, because victory it now will surely be. 3 minutes of stoppage time played. 30 points to 22. If this sails over, and it doesn't, it stays at 30 to 22. It's 18 personal points for Goulding, 30 for St Helens, 22 for Halifax, and the little fella clinches the fists, dances with delight. He has played a full part in this win, as has Scott Gibbs. Tremendous contribution from the Welshman, topped only by Bobby Goulding and his personal tally. They are thrilled to bits. And Alan Hunt, the try that really turned the match St Helens' way, they have won their first victory in 3 games in the big league. It was a long time coming, but they say it is worth it.
You're watching Sky Sports.
So a great win for St Helens, and boy didn't they need it. 30 points to 22. Bobby Goulding contributed 18 personal points to the St Helens tally, and the stand-in captain for St Helens delighted where the youngsters have responded to the challenge here at Thrum Hall today.
We've got a very young side here at St Helens, as showed today, and a special congratulations to number 6 Phil Waring and our rookie Kieran Cunningham. They both come out with flying colours, and they both deserve a chance at under 21 spot this year.
As far as you're concerned, you were captain for the day today. You seem to revel in the extra responsibility.
Yeah, just keep going, mate. You know, I like the responsibility, but Shane's coming back. Shane's captain of the club, and if they give me the captaincy while Shane's not playing, I'll take it with both hands.
Because you certainly seem to be fired up for this one. I know it was desperate for you. 2 matches and no wins.
Yeah, mate, 2 matches, no wins. A lot expected at St Helens, and you know, it's on Sky Television, and we're absolutely made up to collect the 2 points.
How much pressure does this take off you now?
Oh, mate, it takes a heap of pressure off us. We've got players coming back into the squad. They're going to have to fight really hard to get back into the team, and you know, things are looking better at St Helens Rugby League Club.
Scott, welcome to the big league. That was pretty good stuff from you as well.
Well, everything's, you know, every game's unknown territory for me, so, you know, I'm taking one game as it comes, but 3 games in 1 week for anyone is tough, and I'm feeling the bumps and bruises today.
I'm sure you are, and you certainly had a big game defensively, didn't you?
Yeah, I think Wednesday's game against Warrington was really quick, but today I thought was extremely quick. You know, they kept running down our side, and we knew we had to defend well today to come up with a win. And we went in the changing room half-time, a couple of points down. We knew if we could keep them down to a low score, we'd come back to fitter in the second half.
The thing is, you must have come over here on the bus, and it must have been pretty tense because 3 matches, no points. It would have been disastrous for St Helens.
Oh yeah, it's coming into a new club is always different. But you know, the board assured me this is not the way Saints intended it to be for the opening week. But you know, credit to everyone today. We've all been under pressure this week, so I'm glad we come up with a win.
And personally, you're enjoying it? You're enjoying life in the big league?
Yeah, I am enjoying it. Every game, as I said, unknown territory, but very tough. You know, all the opposition and the intensity of the big league is going to be tough. And I'm just looking forward to next May.
Carl, it's an old cliche, but you've snatched defeat from the jaws of victory there.
Well, I think St Helens deserved it at the end of the day. They played basic football. We just made too many basic errors, dropping the ball. We played a 6-out, never got a kicking game going. They deserve to win.
At the start of the second half, you had the perfect start.
That's right, Steve Hampson made a good break. And Mark Preston doesn't miss chances like that. Then we just went to sleep again, some soft defence, and St Helens is a good team. You let them run and score tries.
Well, the try that they scored, I think, from Alan Hunt proved exactly the sort of team they are. 1 minute they're defending the line, the next minute they're scoring under the opposition post.
That's right. I think it was right from a kick-off. Scott Gibbs caught it, went straight to our forward line. And Alan Hunt doesn't miss chances. Similar play to Mark Preston, very fast and in open field score tries.
How much has all the comings and goings this week played on the players' mind regarding Malcolm Reilly's departure?
Obviously, it's in the back of their mind, but we're professional players and we get paid to play football, and end of the day, it's up to us, not Malcolm on the field, and it's our pride what's not Malcolm's.
Yes, the end of a strange week here at Thrum Hall. The team tackling equally shared between the 2 teams. 21 scrums in the match, penalties all square, and 25 handling errors in the game. Halifax made 13 of them. It was Halifax's first half and St Helens' second half. And those statistics really do reflect the way this game went. St Helens, they came back bravely in the second half after Halifax really had bossed the game, well, for almost an hour. Steve-O, it must have been desperate for St Helens coming over here. They knew they simply had to win.
Yes, it was a great fight back from a team that looked well and truly dead and buried early in that second half. And in fact, when Mark Preston scored that, I thought that perhaps Halifax would have continued on and controlled the game. But from there on in, it really was a matter of Bobby Goulding and the Scott Gibbs show. They fired on all cylinders, full credit to Goulding. He kept St Helens going all the time. The breaks came late. Halifax just folded away in their defensive pattern, and it really was a tremendous finish for a great side. St Helens, they will be really relieved today.
2 points then from 3 matches for St Helens. It's 2 from 2 for Halifax. Well, elsewhere, of course, around the country today, there have been matches played in the big league. Let's bring you now the comprehensive roundup of all the tries from all the matches scored in the big league this afternoon.
Sheffield Eagles had the audacity to take the lead at Central Park, with Richard Price setting up Paul Broadbent for the first try. But Wigan were quickly back on level terms with a superb effort from one end of the field to the other. Jason Robinson created it, and Sean Edwards finished it. Within 5 minutes, Wigan were over the line again. Clark and Betts allowing a fire to do what he does best, and that's score. However, Sheffield were not about to lie down, and a superb change of direction by Jackson set up Price to give David Maiko the try-scoring opportunity. Wigan snatched the lead again, crucially perhaps just before half-time. A fire waited, and Edwards held off Darren Turner to score. 18-12 at half-time. Sheffield Eagles never recovered from that blow, and Wigan asserted their authority in the second period, with Edwards in the thick of things and Barry McDermott scoring his first try for the Riversiders. The strength of former All-Back Vaiga Tuigamala made Wigan's fifth try, with a little help from Connolly, and the finish from Martin O'Fire. Wigan were rampant now, and Phil Clark chimed in to send O'Fire skipping over the line for his hat-trick and his 98th try for Wigan. Wigan had the match sewn up, but Briggs and Broadbent allowed fullback Brad Hayes some consolation. But the final word inevitably was Wigan's, and Aitchison and Hall allowed Sean Edwards to match Martin O'Fire with a hat-trick. However, Wigan's joy at the result was soured at the end when goal-kicking star Frano Botica suffered medial ligament damage to his right knee. How crucial will that be as Wigan bid to retain the title?
Pipped at the post for last season's title, Bradford Northern have started this term as though they mean to make up for that disappointment. A midweek win over Sheffield was followed up with victory over Oldham, Paul Newlove opening the scoring. But Oldham did keep pace early on, Wally Gibson scoring for them. Northern responded with a try from Dave Watson, Carl Fairbank doing well to get the ball away. Now, Craig Richards had an eventful return to his former club. He was sin-binned later, but not before he'd started and finished off the move that closed the score to 14-10. Carl Fairbank showed some fancy footwork to put Bradford back in command. And Paul Newlove demonstrated his strength to go over for his second try. Bradford were now well on top. Fox, Heron, Summers to Paul Medley for another try. And Newlove completed his hat-trick after Heron looped a pass over the top. 5 tries in 2 games for the Bradford centre. But appropriately, after his spell in the sin bin, the last word belonged to Craig Richards.
With the possible incoming of Ben Elias, the wire looked sharp from the word go against Wakefield, with Jonathan Davis setting up big Bruce Maguire for the first try. With the wind behind them, Jonathan Davis kicked Warrington further in front before Wakefield got back into the game when the wire waited for the whistle to blow and Aaron Whittaker swept over the line. The first half was turning into the Jonathan Davis show, and the Welshman showed lovely skills to score the home side's second try. He converted to make it 17-6 at half-time. Mackie, Cullen, Maguire and Bateman were all involved to set up Mark Forster to make it 21-6. It was a case of deja vu for Warrington's fourth try. Again, the ball switched from left to right, and this time Alan Bateman touching down. It was all up for Trinity now, but they had the consolation of scoring the try of the game when Adrian Flynn showed commendable determination and some soccer skills to make it 27-10. But the wire had the final word, and once again, good use of the ball allowed Bateman to score his second try of the day. 31-10 the final score, and Warrington at top of the table.
Castleford were ahead after just 3 minutes at Weldon Road. Tony Kemp's kick rebounding into his hands for him to score. Dean Marwood's penalty got Workington going, but Kemp and Richard Goddard sent in Simon Middleton for another Castleford try. Marwood, though, kept Workington in touch with another penalty, and the Cumbrians went in front with a great try. James Pickering making the hole in the Castleford defence, Brad Heppy providing great support, and Marwood finishing off and adding the goal. Castleford went back in front with a lovely try of their own. Russell, Nickow, Tony Smith to Chris Smith. Lee Crooks converting to make it 16-10. In the second half, the Kiwi combination of Kemp and Blackmore put Chris Smith in again. But Workington showed the sort of spirit they're going to need in what's bound to be a hard season. Tony Kay bringing them back into it again at 20 points to 14, and yes, he did get the ball down. Castleford killed off the Cumbrian comeback with a second try from Simon Middleton.
If it's no good one way, try the other direction. Those were Ellery Hamley's thoughts as he set up the first try for Gary Mercer to feed Kevin Iro. But coach Steve Martin will hardly be enthusing about the Featherstone tackling. Gary Schofield and the powerful Iro did the spade work for Leeds' second try, with Academy International Paul Cook going over the line and celebrating with a victory roll, 10-2. Featherstone scored their only try of the half when Aston, Tutor and Butt allowed Matt Callan to barge over. 14-6. But 10 minutes later, Innes, Iro and the rampaging Holroyd with a lobbed pass gave Gary Schofield a touchdown. 18-8 at half-time. A Kiwi and a Frenchman, Iro and Ontart, helped Leeds to the first try of the second half, with Gary Mercer finishing between the posts. It all went wrong, though, for Featherstone here. A misunderstanding, a dropped ball, and Hanley, Holroyd, Iro, and finally Innes made the visitors pay dearly for their error. Featherstone kept going, though, and they showed excellent handling skills to allow Matt Callan to score his team's only other try of the game. But Leeds finished the match on a high, with the old campaigners charging through the Featherstone defence. Not there, Ellery, but there. Leeds 36, Featherstone 14.
Salford were off to a flyer against Hull at the Willows, and they owed their good start to their pack. First, David Young went over, picking up Steve Blakely's pass to score. And then young Jason Quigley sent in Paul Forber. Steve Blakely goaled both tries and then scored a simple solo effort himself, adding the conversion to make it 18-0 to Salford by the half hour. Hull came back in the second half with Rob Nolan following up his own grubber kick. But Hull's defence was punished again when Salford hooker Quigley was given too much room out wide. And then he sent in Phil Ford. That made it 27-6, but back came Hull with an excellent try, which was set up by this break from Rob Nolan. He had support from Hull's new signing Leroy Mackenzie, who managed to get the ball away to Craig O'Donnell. Smirk's conversion and this close-range effort from Brandon Greenwood made it 27-16. But just when it seemed as though Hull could get back into it, Salford sub Andy Gregory popped the ball up for Steve Blakely, who added the goal to take his afternoon's points tally to an impressive 20. Hull weren't done yet. Mike Dixon went over from close range, and they had the final word in an entertaining game
A Smirk's long upfield kick caught the Red Devils dozing, and Craig O'Donnell was on hand to finish off.
Now the results from the Stones Bitter Championship this weekend. Doncaster's fabulous win on Friday and St Helens' victory here today. Bradford 36, Oldham 14. Castleford 26, Workington 14. Leeds 36, Featherstone 14. Salford 33, Hull 28. Warrington 31, Wakefield 10. And Wigan 40, Sheffield 16. It means that Warrington are the leaders in the First Division. They lead by a point from a clutch of clubs on 4. Bradford, Wigan, Leeds, Castleford and Doncaster. Down at the bottom, there are some teams still awaiting their first victory of the season. Sheffield, Oldham, Featherstone, Widnes and Workington. Into Division 2, Batley 44, Carlisle 16, Huddersfield 50, Barrow 12, Hull Kingston Rovers 34, Bramley 4, Hunslet 25, London Broncos 14, Rochdale 16, Keighley 30, Rydale York 66, Highfield 6, and Whitehaven 16, Lee 8. So the top of the table, 100% for Hull Kingston Rovers, Keighley and Batley. Down at the bottom, there are 4 clubs there waiting for their first win of the season too. Highfield, Barrow, Carlisle and Bramley. What's coming up on Sky Sports on the Big League over the next few days? Well, next Friday, Wakefield against Bradford Northern, live and exclusive from Bellevue, 7 o'clock next Friday. On Sunday, we go to Doncaster. Doncaster against Leeds, a real David and Goliath affair this, and Doncaster and Leeds aiming for the top of the table. Boots and All on Tuesday night is at 9:15. Make a note of the slightly later time. And we have the Australian Rugby League continuing on Thursday at 11:15. It's all building up to the grand final on Sunday, the 25th of September, and we shall be in the studio that morning at 5 a.m. to bring you the whole affair from Sydney, live and exclusive. That's it then from Drum Hall. Happiness for St Helens, disappointment for Halifax. From all of us here, goodbye.